And thanks, COVID, for sharing your candid talk. For your experience of building Caliber. Which is undoubtedly one of the most successful project out of India. Um, Today, I will talk about my experience of building a complex ERP application, Erpnext, which is also kind of world's number one popular open source ERP application. Um, Before that, a little bit about myself. I am Nabin Hait, one of the co-founder of Frappe and a maintainer and builder of Erpnext. Little bit about Frappe. Frappe is basically 15 years old company. We are located in Vidyavihar and Mumbai, and we have created a dozen of open source product, and all are open source. And um, our main product are Erpnext and framework, Frappe framework. Other than that, we also build some quality product like LMS, LMS, CRM, Insights. Those are our recent products, but everything is open source. We also have our hosting platform called Frappe Cloud, where anyone can host any Frappe application, very easily. And another thing is Frappe is a democratically run organization where basically everyone has freedom to express anything, everyone has equal rights. We take decision democratically in for every decision in Frappe. And today I will talk about Erpnext more. So what is Erpnext? Erpnext is basically an ERP application which stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. And it is basically this software is basically manages all the operations of a business. Whether it is accounting or manufacture or its sales or purchase. HR, payroll, everything. Whatever operation is done in a business, it is part of ERP application. And today, even though it is a tech conference, I will start with little bit of accounting knowledge. I will try to share. Maybe it will be boring, but still, I believe that it will set the context that how complex an ERP is, and also I believe that everyone should know little bit of accounting. At least if you want to become an entrepreneur or already an entrepreneur, then it is a must-have thing, in my opinion. And I am not a CA. I am also learned accounting while building Erpnext, accounting module from the users. So there can be mistakes. So yeah, let's start. So the heart of the accounting is basically chart of accounts, where basically it is a basically list of accounts categorized into assets, liability, income and expenses. Then there are two type of account. One is balance sheet. Balance sheet accounts represents company's net worth at any specific point in time. So some examples of balance sheet accounts are asset, liability, equity. You can see here like bank balance, inventory balance, receivable and cash. Liabilities are payable, loans, taxes. I will not go into details. Then there is profit or loss account. It is basically represents your income and expenses over a specific period of time. Mainly for a year or so. And at the end of the year, income and expenses get reset and becomes zero, and it starts again the next year. So it is basically we track income expenses to analyze how we are doing in the business, and what is the profit we are doing. So let's do an accounting exercise. So let's take an example of a coffee shop, and named Your Cafe, let's say. So one day the owner of the coffee shop started their journey to make the coffee shop, and so first thing he will do basically, he will put some money into the company. So let's say he put 50,000 of rupees into the company, and also he opened a bank account for the company, so that 50,000 money will transfer to the bank. So here basically in account and in the balance sheet, this type of accounting entry will happen. Shareholders capital will be liability, 50,000 will be credited and bank will be debited by 50,000. Then let's say to start the business, he needs some kind of assets, like he need to buy some utensils, he need to buy a coffee machine or some furnitures also, right? So he went to some shop nearby, he was known to him, so he agreed to, let's say, give in credit, so the accounting entry will be like as he took in credit, so it's still a liability, so accounts payable account will be credited by 20,000, and as he is purchasing some equipment which is for the long term, so it's a asset to him, so it immediately the expense will not be booked, it will be an asset, so fixed asset will account will be get debited. Then let's say he also purchased some raw materials to make the coffee, like coffee beans, sugar, milk, all those things will be raw material. So here basically he is paying immediately, so cost of goods sold expense will be booked and bank will reflect for the same amount. Then let's say for after 1 month, he made a sale of 1 lakh rupees, and here one thing to notice that coffee also attracts GST, taxes, and it is 5% tax will be applied on 1 lakh rupees. So and if it is as it is basically in-state transaction, so there are 2 accounts will be affected, CGST and SGST, both 2.5%, so tax is a liability because we company have to pay that tax to the government, so that will be on the liability side, 5,000 rupees. Bank will be reflected by 1,05,000 will be increased bank account, and we will book sales of 1 lakh rupees. Then let's say he made a income of 1 lakh, he decided to repay the credit he took from the local shopkeeper, of 20,000. So he just withdraw 20,000 from the bank and repay to the supplier, Then also he need to pay the shop rent, so he will book expenses for that. Again the bank transaction will happen. He will give a salary to the persons who hired, to run the businesses. So we will book the accounting for that. Then as it is the end of the month, so the cafe also have to pay the GST he collected from the customer, to the government. So the reverse entry will happen for the GST account and it will go from bank. Then let's say the year ended, so at the end of the year, what will happen? So basically he made some kind of profit here. He made a sales of 1 lakh rupees and his expenses is 75,000. So he made a total 25,000 profit at this year. So so this 25,000 does not belong to the company actually. It belongs to the shareholder, who invested in the company. So this is still a liability for the company. The company need to pay to the shareholder. So that's why it is basically that accounting will be reserve and surplus account will be credited for 25,000 and the income expenses gets reset at the end of the year. So the reverse entry will go at the same time, So by this example, you got some kind of accounting examples how it happens. But let's say it become popular, and he decided to set up another branch in nearby city, so that's when he basically need to track all these things, all these income and expenses for both branch, So how do we do that? So for that basically there is a concept called cost center and accounting dimension, So basically whenever one any income and expense will be booked, in accounting. So he will also mention that for which branch he is posting that income or expense, and that's why he will figure out that that branch is profitable or not, how much income is generated from which branch, So there are many more features like very difficult features like multi-currency, deferred revenue, asset depreciation, payment reconciliation, tens of features in accounting. I will not go into the details. My idea was basically given summary that how accounting is and how complex it is, to give it a sense. So the point is, when you try to build an ERP system, it's generally a 10 years project, at least 10 years it takes, and I'm telling it not because we took that much time, if you see any popular ERP product, like the most popular ERP product is SAP, and it started its journey in 1972. It's more than 50 years, they are in business and they are developing the ERP product. And same goes with the other popular ERP products as well, like NetSuite, Sage, and Microsoft Dynamics, even the open core Odoo, they all took more than 20 years, to building ERP. So it's a long-term project. So that's why whenever someone asks me to what is the key challenges, in building ERP, I always say that it is patience. It is not business logic, not technical. It is just patience. You need sheer patience, to create this kind of product. And yep, another aspect is you have to do lot of abstraction, when you build this kind of project. When I talk about abstraction, it is basically, let's say, in an ERP, there are almost in Erpnext itself, it has 1,000+ tables in the back end. At the same time, 1,000+ documents in the front end. So when you are handling that much number of documents, in one single applications, so you cannot build crafted UI for each and every form. You have to build something that views is created automatically, based on some configurations or something like that, and so that approach we took. So that's when basically when I was building Erpnext, I never focused on the making UI for each and every form. It was handling by Frappe framework, which was simultaneously developed by Rousseau and others, so the framework gives the power to create UI very easily, just by configuration, and it's not only UI. So we took generally while building, whenever we got something, any feature, something generic, in nature, so we tried to build in framework instead of building it inside the Erpnext for specific use case. So that's how we tried to build the Erpnext, So yeah, center of the Frappe framework is doc type. So what is doc type? Doc type is basically it gives a summary of metadata of your forms and documents, and when you create a doc type, it basically it creates a table in the backend in the database automatically based on your configuration. It also gives some views, form views, list views, it automatically generates based on the schema. It also gives you the permission management system. It is configurable for each and every doc type. So lot of things you will get out of the box when by just creating a doc type. It has some extensible features as well, also like web form, webhooks, reports, etc. I will not go into details. Some of the views created by doc type, just to showcase what kind of views they generate. So this is a form view. It is automatically created by just from the UI when you create a doc type. This is a list view. Here basically you can configure that which fields will be appear in the list view and what kind of filters you need. You can mention those in the doc type itself. Then report view also can be generated automatically, and with some configuration and little bit coding, you know. You can generate Kanban view, Gantt view, calendar view, you know, all those things can be generated out of the box, you know, little bit coding. And what are the other features it gives framework? So yeah, role permission system. One of the framework has a robust permission system, and when you building an ERP application, you know, it needs really super permission system, you know, because you are handling really sensitive data of any company, and at the same time you are giving access to the users from the multiple department, and sometimes you also give access to the user outside the company, you know. So that's why permission is really important, and using this permission system you can control whether the user can which document they can access, you know, what can they submit, even the printing and export of the document, emailing of the document can be configured, can be restricted, you know. Again, advanced permission system also, they are like user permission, where you can basically restrict accessing one document just by a field's value, you know. Like if you want to restrict sales invoice accessing for a specific territory, you can do that easily, you know. Yeah, so that's there. And it also gives a workflow builder, you know. It is very useful for a ERP, because ERP needs very multi-level workflow approval system, you know, for many documents. So you can configure that very easily. Then it comes with data import tool, you know. Here it is very simple. I mean, you can just download the template for any document and just fill up the data and upload it. It will be done. It gives out of the box print format, also a print format builder to make beautiful print out, you know, of your invoices. Then you can send those invoices to your customer, you know. You can also create PDFs from those print formats. You can download those PDFs or email them, you know, directly from the system. Yes, you can configure emails. Just you need to provide the configuration of your email server, you know. Then you will be directly able to receive and send emails right from the Erpnext or any framework application, you know. It has also, you can upload attachments, you can assign any document to anybody, you know, and whenever you assign any document, it also sends some notification about the assignment to the end user via email, you know. So all these things comes out of the box. Even this, it also gives REST API, real-time update, scheduler, you know. Lot of features comes with framework, you know. So that's why I mean, yeah, customization I forgot. So it is really, I mean, important feature for any kind of ERP application, because we saw that every business is almost different, you know, in some way, and they need at least some kind of custom fields when they deploy Erpnext, you know. And in Erpnext with the framework, you can create custom fields just in 10 seconds or so, you know, and it can be done by the end user itself. Then there is customized form layer, you know. Basically it is a layer to customize the doc type properties. Here almost 70-80% properties can be customized, you know, via this tool. Then there is of course custom script. You can write custom client script and both custom server script also right from the UI for the advanced use cases. You can create custom apps where you can create entirely new modules based on your requirement, or you can extend or overwrite the existing functionality of Erpnext, you know. So I mean, framework is really powerful for making this kind of apps. So that's why I mean, we took this kind of framework first approach actually helped us to make the Erpnext popular, you know. And today there are companies like Zerodha, Reliance, you know, Merrill Life Science, and lot of government bodies also use Erpnext, and we have a large community as well. You know, we have in our forum itself we have around 25,000 users, and every day we I think reply almost 150 posts every day. You know, on our forum. On GitHub, Erpnext has 17K star already. You know. So I will must say, as a end user of Frappe framework, while building Erpnext, you know, I realized that it reduces lot of effort while making a CRUD application. You know, you just need to focus on your core area like writing business logics. Other features can be provided by the Frappe framework. So if you are trying to create any CRUD application, any business application, let's try Frappe framework. I am sure that you will not regret. You know. Here are some resources where you will find useful. You know, if you want to learn Frappe framework, you can enroll on Frappe school. Even you can subscribe to our YouTube channel Build with Hussain. You know, there are a lot of educative material. You know, there you will find. Yeah, thanks.